a video on something, I just feel like a lot of the time it's weird. I talk to people on certain avenues, and it's always weird because it's like, okay, well, you know, I've watched videos on some people's responses on issues that I actually agree with. Like, for example, on the side of, I guess they call it like the black man's side, the black man's channel, I generally do agree with them on some issues like colorism, but not completely. Like, when it comes to the perception, self-perception of some people, I kind of feel like I agree to some extent, but not all, because some people are just like really hateful towards, and that's another thing. Like, I guess this video is gonna be about like just like black men and like how they basically perceive like colorism on black women who are dark skinned. And like I don't know, like for one, there's like some that are kinda like, oh, it's all black women's fault, dark skinned black women's fault. I don't think it's all of dark skinned black women's fault for colorism, or that they generally think of themselves in a bad light, and that's literally all it is. I think it comes from somewhere, and I think it originally comes from. I kind of think it comes from dark-skinned black men, you know. And I said that, and then it kind of like when I said that, other people seemed like they responded kind of with confirmation, like they didn't want it to be, a confirmation, but at the same time they kind of did confirm it. Like, automatically they assumed I was a dark skinned black woman, right? And then they assumed that I was blaming dark skinned women, dark skinned men, and so then they started attacking dark skinned women, which kind of proved my point of dark skinned men being colors against dark skinned women. The thing is, my problem is, like, I understand that as a lighter skinned woman, generally I've noticed a lot of the time with dark-skinned black men, they love to ask you what you're mixed with. They love to ask what race are you and things of that nature. They love to try and assert that, you're different and they're interested, you know. And so that's why I've always thought from a dark-skinned woman's perspective, that must be hard to deal with men like this, that are really into people who are, totally different. Um, so like I always felt like, yeah, they're the root of it, but more than that, I feel like I guess I blame dark skinned women on it because I feel like you should be able to know by looking at yourself in the mirror. And then if you're devaluing yourself because of someone else hating themselves, because dark skinned black men hate themselves. And if you talk to them about it, like, for example, I've talked about it to them and go like, so why is it you expect someone who is light skinned to prefer dark skin, but you can't even prefer it yourself, And they always have nothing to answer to that besides anger and hate for black women, which honestly is like, okay, now you're just hating on yourself, and I'm pointing out why people shouldn't prefer you because you keep attacking yourself, and just because you think you're a dark skinned black man, I don't understand what's the difference. To me, in my point of view, I don't see the difference. The same thing. In fact, dark skinned black men and women, they kind of have the same face and they kind of look the same. Nothing against dark skinned black women on that even. To me, dark skinned black women look exotic. Like, take Lupita, for example. Lupita has a very feminine face. She has, like, soft, round face structure, right? And high cheekbones. like round, soft nose, full lips, nice eyes. Everything about her is beautiful, feminine, things of that nature. But at the same time, how many black men have her face? There are so many black men who have her face. So, I always felt like dark-skinned black men feel insecure about the fact that they look just like black women, and then they have to try and over-assert that they are the masculine men, even though they are stuck with female faces, you know. And, that is the root, I think, of all colorism. But I think dark-skinned women are kind of guilty for low self-esteem. Because, they built a low self-esteem off of this, and they can't realize that they're so beautiful and that everybody's trying to look like them, you know. And I don't mean like blackfishing. I don't consider blackfishing to be a thing, really. But, like, in all respects, like, how people plump their lips up, including myself. How people make their cheekbones higher. How people make their eyes look more almond shaped, kind of pretty like theirs are. Everything that they have. People try to mimic, you know, as far as makeup goes and things of that nature. So to me, I just don't understand why most of the time it seems like, you know, dark skinned black women and men kind of confirm the perception of them. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a stereotype some of the time because they kind of prove it to be right when you attack dark-skinned women, or when, in another case, you attack mixed women and are always on the defense with mixed women, even though you don't even know what they're gonna say. You don't know if they're very favorable to you. You don't know anything, you know. But you just focus on, that they're mixed and they're light skinned, and you have that your own internal hate that's moving you to hate the next because they have something you perceive you want. And that's in general why I blame both sides for this. But yes, I do think that dark skinned men are the root of it. And I don't know. I just think dark skinned men who do that are just kind of like weird. So yeah, that's all I have to say in response to that video. Response to the conversation I had. That was basically it. I think some people need to build up their self-esteem, and then some other people, you know, they need to love themselves so then they don't have to hate others. And that can apply to both sides to some extent. Yeah, so I'm gonna be done with the video. Alright, thanks, bye.